Hello, I am Rageless, and I've been hosting Unturned servers for a few years now, and I got bored, so thought I would start doing some tutorials to help people out who are new, or maybe just people who are curious. So today I'm going to be going through how to set up backups for your server. This isn't just for Unturned servers, this is really for any game server you're hosting, but this is going to be a little Unturned specific because of some of the files, which you'll see later on. Backups are highly suggested if you want to keep your player data ready in case, server goes down and you lose some data, or, something goes wrong or it corrupts or something. Backups are great. So let's get into it. First off, panel wise, your panel should look very similar to this. All hosts use a very similar panel. The only thing that might look different is the layout and the color scheme, but for the most part, all of the buttons and all the interactable stuff should look almost identical. So let's get started by going to the schedules page. So first things first, you're going to want to click create schedule, and we're going to title this backup. Now we get to the timing part of the schedule. Pterodactyl, which is the panel we're using, uses cron job syntax to figure out when you want something to be executed. It's a little tricky to understand at first, but I do suggest going on to this great site here, crontab.guru. This will help you have a better understanding of how this works. Pretty much there are 5 digits. They each represent a different mark of time. So we have minutes, hours, day of month, day of week. And this site will help you understand what numbers you have to put here in order to get a specific output of time. So for this tutorial, we're going to do a backup every 6 hours. So how it will go is we'll have 0. So at every minute 0, this means every hour, every 6 hours. And then this is just any value. So the day of month doesn't matter, the month doesn't matter, the day of week doesn't matter, because it's going to be happening anytime with these specific values here. So we can input these into our schedule. So our first value is 0. Our second value is asterisk / and 6. And then we just have 3 asterisks for the last 3 values, so we don't have to change that. You can also see the cheat sheet here, but I honestly just suggest going here. You can even look up cron tab or cron job. Let's say we wanted to do every 12 hours. And this will show up here, and it'll give you what you need. And you can double check here to make sure it's right. So you don't even really need to do anything, you just look it up and usually you'll get the answer you want. And we're going to make sure this happens even if the server is offline, just in case. And we're going to want this to be enabled, of course, so let's create the schedule. So now we have the time part of the schedule done. Now we're going to click on the schedule and we're going to create a new task. So we're going to do create backup and time offset. You don't really need to worry about this. You don't really need to worry about this for this certain case. For certain schedules, you may want an offset for some reason. And then we have ignored files. So without ignoring any files, your backups will probably be over a gigabyte, especially with Unturned, and with other games, probably much higher. So you want to make sure you are ignoring files like the bundle file, workshop files, the files that you don't need to back up, like something that you can easily get back through just like installing the game again, or Steam Workshop mods that you can just reinstall. So I have a list here that I can copy and paste, and I'll also put in the server description, that is going to exclude a ton of files and folders that you do not need. So this will make sure that your backups are much smaller in size and not cluttered. And we're going to do continue on failure. So if this does fail, it'll try again. And now we're going to do create task. All right, here it is. So now we've created our task, and the next time it's going to initiate is going to be at 12 a.m. And yeah, there you go. You can also manually create backups. So if you just click create backup in your backups tab, we'll name this test 1. And for this example, we're not going to ignore any files just to show you the difference in file size. And we're going to do start backup. Usually if you just reload the page a couple times, it should be finished, but this is going to be over a gigabyte, so it's going to take a little longer. And there we go. So this backup is 1.64 gigabytes. You can click on these 3 dots and you can download it, you can restore it, and you can lock and delete it. Locking will just make sure that you don't accidentally do anything wrong with it. And obviously deleting it deletes it. And restoring it will just replace any of the missing files that are in your actual game files. And then we'll do one with the ignored files to show the difference in file size. And there we go. So when you do ignore the files that you don't need, it'll only be 30 megabytes. So big difference in file size there. You want to make sure that you're not going to have a super cluttered backup file, and also certain hosts limit file size or the amount of backups you can have. That is the basics of creating backups and scheduling backups for any game server, but in this case, an Unturned server would be specific. Thank you for watching. Check out Hypnotic RP, my server, and see ya.